Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. I see how the Joneses live, and y'all, I can't keep up, and I don't want to keep up with the Joneses. It's hard enough keeping up with our own family. So, I want to share with you today Frugal Living Challenge 25. And what would you do in a crisis in your household if there was no money coming in? We just went through the government shutdown saying there'd be no food stamps for 42 plus million families in the United States, which is just staggering to me. And what would you do in a crisis? Do you know how to cook from scratch? Well, I'm going to tell you a few things. The food stamp program will allow you to buy garden seeds, vegetables for planting. And I would suggest that you get your children out there, your husband, your wife, your whole family, dig up a garden this coming spring and plant something, whether it's just tomatoes. You can start small. You know what your family will eat, so pick up a few packs of seed, maybe at the local Dollar Tree or one of the dollar stores or even Walmart, someplace like that, where you can get the seeds relatively inexpensive in places that will accept food stamps. So I pulled out some items, and plus I've got my discount grocery haul that I haven't done in a while, so I wanted to share that with you as well. But some of the items that I would personally use in case of a crisis and make sure that I always have on hand. My mom and dad went through the Great Depression, they went through World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War. It just seemed like there was one war after another. And there was always some kind of crisis going on. There was a gas crisis, I think, in the 1970s. Just all kinds of crises going on. Let's say that you can't get your hands on coupons for groceries. We all know that the grocery prices have already skyrocketed. I mean, just out of this world prices on everything. Things that used to cost under $1 are now $2 and $3 and sometimes $4 or $5. So we need to be prepared regardless, because the economy is iffy, to say the least. So my mom and dad went through the Great Depression and some of the World War II. They had to use these little books that had rations in them. They were ration cards, and you could only buy so much butter, milk, eggs, etc. And during the World Wars, they were encouraged to do a victory garden, which is why I named my garden a victory garden. So one of the first things that you want to make sure you have on hand, whether they're powdered or whole eggs, is you want to have eggs on hand. And I believe that one's a double yolker, though from our chickens, because it is huge, y'all. Look at that. So you want to make sure you have some fresh eggs in your refrigerator at all times, because eggs are so important. It's a source of protein, and you can use them in so many dishes, and you can stretch food with them, etc., etc. I'm going to talk about some of the items that I would use to stretch food, but also you want to have powdered milk on hand. And yes, this is from 2022. And actually, I need to get this jarred up. I never did get to this, but it's been in my long-term storage buckets, and so it's perfectly fine. But I want to get it out of the plastic and get it into glass jars, and I suggest that you get glass jars. Save them when you get a glass jar in the store so that you can properly store your food. So powdered milk can go a long way in providing some vitamin D and calcium for your family. And it can be used in cooking. You can make your own hot chocolate mix with powdered milk. Another item I would suggest that you get your hand on is some powdered real butter, if you possibly can. Stay away from the margarines. They're not healthy for you. They got a lot of trans fats and so forth. And this only has 45 calories per serving. It has 151 servings per container, and you can use this in place of your margarine or your butter. So that's an item that you would want to get on your pantry shelf. I got this one off of Amazon. I'm not affiliated with any of these products, by the way. But I keep that. That's my emergency stash. You also want to have either powdered onion or fresh onions and garlic on hand as a seasoning. You can also make a syrup with onions. The red onions are better, but the yellow onions are good too for certain, to help in case if there's a health crisis in your family and you make a syrup. You keep it in your refrigerator and you just dose it out according to the age of the person receiving it. Children over the age of 3 can get 1 teaspoon. Adults can get up to a tablespoon twice a day. So I use that daily because I have health issues and lung issues. Garlic is really good too. You can infuse this in oil. Olive oil is best, but you can definitely infuse this in oil and use it again as another healing thing in your household. Plus, it flavors your food. And you can buy the seeds to grow those. You want to have some kind of cereal in your house, and I don't recommend the boxed cereals because they contain all kinds of GMOs and everything. But if you can get your hand on some whole oats, you can make cookies with these. You can bake with these. You can use it in meatloaf. Uh, so oats are really good. I use it as a breakfast oat in the refrigerator, and it's really delicious and nutritious for you. I'm just moving some of the things out of the way because I've got a lot of stuff sitting over here. Another thing you want to have in your stash is some canned meats. The reason I say canned is because they will last long past the best by date, and y'all need to get over that best by date because that is not the end of how good this product is in the store-bought cans. And this one is actually from 2024, the best buy on it. So it will last for a few more years, but this is tuna fish. I've got some salmon, white chicken. You can get the beef or the pork or the chicken in cans, and some kind of luncheon loaf or spam, something like that, for a protein boost to your food. You can make it stretch by using canned meats. And one of the biggest ones during the Great Depression, of course, was the salmon, because they would make salmon patties with it, and they would feed a family off of 1 can with salmon patties by adding a little bit of cornmeal, egg, and onion. Just real easy, simple recipe. And so I keep myself stocked in those. When they go on sale, especially pick these up and have them on hand. And you can write on the top of your cans the date. I've got this one dated. That's the best used date for the year 27. You want to have some canned vegetables on hand, and make sure you're reading your labels because they have all kinds of garbage in them. Del Monte is actually one of the uh, better ones because it has simple ingredients, and that's what you're looking for. So when they go on sale, pick them up. Don't be afraid to pick up something you don't know if your family will like. We love pigeon peas. We use this in a Spanish rice, and it's very, very good. Um, Although I can't have it right now because I'm on keto, but it's very good for you. When you mix rice with a bean or a pea product, you're getting a whole protein. So it replaces your protein in your meal. Another one you want to have on hand, whether they're canned or dried, are beans. An assortment of beans. They're relatively still inexpensive to pick up a bag of beans. You can go to Dollar Tree and pay $1.25 for a bag. You can go to the grocery store and pay a little bit more or a little bit less depending on the brand. But pick up your beans and store them in glass jars or those 5-gallon food grade buckets. We've got several of those in our house, and y'all, beans is a staple in our house. It was also a staple in the Great Depression because you can take beans and you can stretch a meal with beans. You can take dry beans, cook them, dehydrate them, powder them up, and use them in place of flours and thickeners if you have to. So those are things that you can do. Oh, got all those out of the way. You want to make sure you got some peanut butter and jelly on hand because you know the kids love it. It's also very healthy for you. I didn't pull out any jelly, but you get the idea. And you can make peanut butter cookies with this. I mean, you can make thumbprint cookies and put a little dollop of jelly in the middle of those with items that you have on hand. So we're going to take care of that sweet tooth. I didn't pull out the cocoa, but you want to have cocoa on hand because you can make cake with it. You can make hot chocolate. You can use it in protein shakes. You can make brownies and fudge and so many things out of cocoa powder. And you can make chocolate syrup. You want to have on hand some cornmeal. Uh, this is actually macassa, um, which is used to make the tortillas and stuff. So you want to have some of this on hand so you can make your cornbread, your pone bread, your hot water cornbread, whatever. And it comes in so handy for dressing. You want to have noodles on hand. Noodles stretch meals. It may not be the healthiest option for you. It's not for me, but it will stretch a meal. A lot of casseroles call for noodles and rice, so you want to have both of those on hand. And there's my rice. So make sure, again, you're taking them out of those plastic packages and get them stored. And I store most of my stuff with a bay leaf in top. What that does, if there's any bug eggs in here, it's going to kill them. Or if any bugs hatch out, it's going to kill them. Or you can put in an oxygen absorber, or you can get one of those sealers and seal the top of your jars to draw out all the oxygen. Because oxygen is the enemy of our food. You want to have some kind of sugar on hand. This is an organic sugar, and I like it. It's better than the white sugar, actually. It's the natural state of your sugar is that color. So you want to have sugar on hand so you can make those desserts and you can put it in your coffee or tea. Which I did bring out coffee and tea. So whatever your preferred brand is, get it and get it in the jars. I don't use the regular black coffee anymore, but this is Earl Grey. You can use whatever coffee and tea that you like. If you're a coffee drinker and you know you're a coffee drinker, pick it up when it's on sale. Don't look at the brand. Just pick it up and put it in a jar so you can have it for long-term storage. Another item would be flour. You want to have flour for those cakes, gravies, uh, pies, and all those other things that you might even make, maybe a pudding, or if you need it as a thickener. This can be in place of using cornstarch if you don't get cornstarch. And then you want to have potatoes on hand, and these are actually rustic mashed potatoes that are dehydrated. But you want to have some dehydrated on hand, and you want to have some fresh potatoes on hand. You can pre-cook your potatoes, partially cook them, and put them in the freezer if you can't can them. So to get rid of some of that starch in there. So have some potatoes on hand. You can make a soup with this, a rustic potato soup. So those are just some of the items. I'm not going to go through a whole list of everything that you need. You choose what is good for your family, but this would be a basic pantry. You also want to have your salt and pepper seasonings on hand, whatever seasonings that you know that your family uses. You can pick them up relatively inexpensive at Dollar Tree or dollar stores, and you can also buy them in bulk like I do and save bukus of money. So we've gone through most of the items. You also want to have, I already said that the powdered butter, but you can also have butter on your pantry shelf. This is done by the Amish. This is actually from 2023, and I use this for my baking. So it's on there. As long as it's sealed, it's good. You also want to have some mustard and mayonnaise on hand, and ketchup, barbecue sauce, things like that. If your family eats those things, you want to have those on hand. And you can have alternatives to sugar on hand. This is molasses, and you can use molasses in chocolate. You won't taste the molasses. You can make cookies with it, make molasses cookie. It's very healthy for you. and your family. So you could use this in place of your regular table sugar. You can also use honey if you can get your hand on local honey. And even if it solidifies in a jar, you just warm it up and it's still good. Honey does not go bad. This is one of my discount grocery finds, but you want to have a good quality oil. This is a Levantine olive oil. It's extra virgin. It has one place of origin. So that's what you want to look for, because when you get more than one place of origin, more than likely you got something else in that product besides olive oil. So get you some good quality oil, preferably in a dark bottle for olive oil. We picked up some canned soup. We don't pick it up very often, y'all, but we did pick up some canned soup from Walmart because they were 70 cents a can. I looked at the name brand and I read the ingredients, and these are actually healthier for us, even though they still have a few things in there that is not great, like the soy protein. But these can stretch a meal. You can use them in a casserole. You can take the cream of chicken soup and mix it with rice and have a side dish or a main dish. Um, there's a lot of things you can do with this. You can make gravy for Thanksgiving with cream of chicken soup. So pick up some soups and have on hand. And if you can get the dry soups, like the onion soup mix, that goes a long way too, because you can use that in a meatloaf. Tomato products, we picked up 2 brands. This is at the discount grocery. We don't see these very often, so when I see them and when the cans are not dented up, these were really in good shape. I grabbed them because we use a lot of tomatoes in our house. So this one is Muir Glen organic tomato paste. 29 cents a can, folks. And I couldn't tell you, I think I got a dozen cans total. And then this one was Hunt's tomato paste with basil, garlic, and oregano for 39 cents a can. Didn't get as many of these. They didn't have but a few cans of this one. But this would go into my spaghetti sauce. So those are the discount grocery items. And then I picked up some seasonings. We're always picking up and replenishing our seasonings. So I wanted to share with you what we picked up. I did pick up 2 containers of ground cinnamon because I was almost out. And I usually store this in a pint or a quart jar, depending on how much I have. It's $12.48 a pound. This container was 2.45 pounds, and it was $3.06 for that container. A whole lot cheaper than what you get in the store, and you get a lot more of your product when you buy it in bulk. And the second container was $3.12. I picked up chili powder because I couldn't find my chili powder the other day. I've got to go through my herb pantry, and I've got to condense down everything. So this is $9.08 a pound. It was 0.22 pounds, and we paid $2 for that container. Again, a lot cheaper than the little bitty bottles you get in the grocery store. I had a recipe I needed fennel for, but fennel is really good for colicky babies or people that have gas. It's an excellent herb for diabetes, to make a tea with, and it's used in so many dishes. So this is $9.82 a pound. This was 0.270 pounds, and I paid $2.65 for that. And the last one was a clearance item that they had. It's ground celery seed. It's ground. $8.16 a pound. It was 0.185 pounds, and I paid half of $1.51. So what, 75 cents for that container. Really, really great bargains. So here's my suggestion. I know that federal judges has ordered that the emergency funds be used for food stamps for this month. I don't know what's going to happen next month. take those food stamps if you're on them and go stock up on items that will last in your pantry. Don't go buy the sugary items. Don't go buy the bags of potato chips and things like that. Buy staple items with your food stamps this month and make it stretch, because you may not be able to get food next month, and you want to make sure that you have enough on hand to get you through at least 3 to 6 months in your pantry, whether you're on food stamps or not. Also, if you're one of those people that are struggling to make ends meet, um, and you have a low income, right now, a lot of that has gone out the window because government workers are included in this, not receiving paychecks, um, and they're having to go to food pantries. So the food pantries have kind of had to nix their low income cap temporarily to make sure these families don't go hungry. Plan ahead. Make your garden next year. Uh, get you some canning supplies as you can afford it. Oh, I didn't even talk about the toilet paper. Make sure you're stocked up on toilet paper, soap, and your health and beauty products that you need. Not what you want, but what you need. Your basics. Bar soap can be used in the shower to wash your hair and your body. So use a bar. Don't buy shampoo and conditioner and then a bottle of body wash. You're wasting money. Buy that bar soap. You can still get your conditioner if you need it, but you can also make a homemade vinegar-based hair rinse for your hair, and it works just as well. So those are my tips today, folks. We're going to be back hopefully with some more throughout the month of frugal ways to save money and to stretch those food dollars. Here's some content I think you might like. Thank you for visiting our homestead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hype, and share to help our small channel grow. See you next time for more simple living, frugal tips, and farmyard fun.